Hi there, Amanda Goman-Petrie, the Chief Marketing and Operations Officer at the Tampa Bay Token. And in this video, I want to walk you through the marketing model that we're using to grow the Tampa Bay Token and increase its visibility and its notoriety in the marketplace. So we employ a 5-step marketing model. I'll walk you through, first I'll give you kind of an overview and then I'll walk you through each of those steps, all right? So the model that we employ is attract, nurture, convert, deliver, and operate. We have to attract traffic, so get people to actually know who we are, to build up a mailing list, build up a social media following, build up our visibility so that we actually have leads and prospects for turning into buyers later. So that's the first step, is attract, and I'll talk about how we do that in a bit. The second step is nurture. So taking all of those leads, taking those potential prospects and our mailing list and our social media following, all of that, and getting them to know, like, and trust us. Especially in the world of cryptocurrency, which is kind of a new idea, you want to make sure that we're well positioning ourselves to be trusted as an authority, as a credible resource in the marketplace. So that's really important. So that's the second step of the marketing model. The third is convert. So it's not enough to have a mailing list and have a social media following and, be positioned so that people trust you. You also have to turn that into a return. You have to actually get people to buy and get the company to grow. And you can't do that without sales. So that's where conversion comes into play. It's getting your leads and getting your prospects, getting these people who know, like, and trust you to actually end up buying. From there, it's a deliver. So you want to take those customers and make sure that they're given a really great experience in the fulfillment side so that they continue coming back and buying more and telling other people about the Tampa Bay Token and spreading that word of mouth. From there, it's operate. So how we operate the business on a day-to-day basis and what that infrastructure and that company cadence looks like that allows for that to continue happening in a way that is systematic, efficient, and scalable. So attract, nurture, convert, deliver, operate. Now that you've seen the overview, let's talk about them one by one. And I'll kind of just give you a bird's eye view rather than getting into all of the little details. So when it comes to attract, there's 3 key ways that we can attract traffic, that we can attract leads, prospects, build our mailing list, build our social media following. So the first is that we can use free traffic, and this is largely things like social media marketing, which in this day and age, when it comes to social media marketing, it's very organic, it's very manual, and you're largely competing against the algorithms. There's so much content in the online world right now that the algorithms have to make a decision about what content gets seen and who gets to see it and how long does it, exist for and all of that. And so right now in the current social media climate, video marketing is absolutely huge, and that's getting the biggest amounts of reach. And so if you really don't want to have to rely solely on paid advertising like Facebook ads, which I'll get into in a bit, you want to incorporate some sort of organic social media marketing, free marketing into your marketing strategy, you really have to rely on video. So that's a big part of the free traffic strategy that we're utilizing. The second step of our attraction process is paid traffic. And so here we're really relying on Facebook advertising. First, what we want to do is we want to really master a sales funnel and a traffic generation strategy with one form of paid advertising, and then replicate that process later on different forms of paid advertising, rather than having, Twitter advertising, LinkedIn advertising, Facebook advertising, Google pay-per-click, and all of that, which I have massive experience with. But rather than going off and, dividing all of our efforts on these mediocre campaigns, we want to really excel and fine-tune one campaign, one form of traffic, and then we can always scale up from there, which is something that a lot of people usually get wrong when it comes to paid advertising. They'll go into Facebook ads, they won't really know how to make it work, and they'll spend like $50 here, and then it doesn't work, and they're like, oh man, Facebook ads don't work. It does. You just have to be very strategic and very patient. And so our strategy is really to be patient, be in it for the long run, and get as much data as we possibly can about what's working and what's not, so that we can test and tweak and make sure that our funnel is just right, create even more ad creatives to scale up the amount of Facebook ads that we have, because that's really the way to scale on Facebook. You don't scale by just putting more money into one ad, you scale by creating multiple ads and testing out different things. We're starting locally because it is the Tampa Bay token. And typically what you see in Facebook ads is that when you start locally, the cost per lead and the cost per acquisition is usually a little bit higher, but the conversion on the back end is also usually higher. And from there, you can gather a lot of data about what's working and what's not, and then use that as you scale to broader and broader audiences. So that's the second form of attraction that we're, the second attraction system that we're utilizing. The third attraction system that we utilize is affiliate traffic, or piggyback traffic, whatever you want to call it. Or basically we're tapping into other people's existing traffic and then getting, them to promote us. So this is what a lot of people call publicity. And so this will be looking at getting on podcasts, writing guest blogs, positioning the company as an expert, and then exposing ourselves and getting visibility in these different outlets where they've already built a listenership, they've already built a readership, they've already built followings, and we can get them to promote us. So that's the attraction system: free traffic, paid traffic, affiliate traffic. Next, when you get to nurture, there are two main outlets that you want to consider when it comes to nurturing that traffic. There's how do you nurture the mailing list that is built, because any good business, especially one that wants to incorporate online marketing, you need to be building a mailing list, and then nurturing them, because people won't always convert right away. Sometimes they'll convert later. And so we'll build up that mailing list, and we'll have to nurture them there by sending some free content on a regular basis to that mailing list, while of course following all of the the CAN spam laws, GDPR, all of that. So that's one form of that's one nurture system that we're putting in place, is our newsletter system to consistently be marketing to and nurturing our mailing list. The second is our social media following. So in addition to utilizing social media as a way to drive traffic, we also want to build up those social media platforms and then get them to know, like, and trust us. It's not enough to just have a social media account. You have to also be regularly engaging them, especially, again, if you want to combat that algorithm. And again, we're really utilizing video there. So, really, you do a live video, you put it over on YouTube, generate subscribers on YouTube, and then repurpose that video in multiple formats. For example, sending that to that newsletter, so that we're not creating a ton of different content. We're creating key pieces of content that we're repurposing in very strategic ways. So that's the nurture system. The conversion system, there's two main ways that we can convert, three main ways that we can convert our leads and prospects into sales. The first is the one that most people think about, which is the website. And so we are in the process right now of mapping out a way to adjust the website based on the data that we're generating from Google Analytics and what I personally know about conversion, to set it up so that we capture as many visitors as possible and turn them into buyers. That's something that is really important, especially if we are going to be utilizing SEO and organic marketing. We want to make sure that when people actually land on that website, they are converting and not dropping off, which is, that's something that's very common. Most people who go to your website, they are going to drop off, and we want to minimize that as much as possible. So that's something that's in the works right now. But that's mostly for organic traffic. When it comes to intentional traffic, like Facebook ads and PR, where we're choosing where we send people to, that's where sales funnels come into play, where you get people to come through for, some type of free offer first, and then on the thank you page and in the follow-up sequence afterwards, you're sending them a series of marketing campaigns to then get them back into buy. So that's automated or evergreen sales would be the second form. And then the third form would be manually selling offers through the mailing list, because again, you will build up traffic and they won't necessarily buy right away. And in some cases they will, and then they'll need to buy again later, but they might forget, so you need to remind them. So setting up a templatized, systematized system for sending manual offers to the mailing list periodically, such as, flash campaigns once a month, or, Black Friday sales, or Cyber Monday sales. Those things work really, really well. So that's the conversion system: website, sales funnels, and launches. When it comes to delivery, that's not really my realm. My realm is in the marketing and the operations, so that's more on the fulfillment side. When it comes to marketing, though, it is my job, and the operations side, it is my job to make sure that every experience that our customers have, every touch point that they have, does follow alongside our company culture, and it is, further solidifying their belief in us and in our mission. And so, creating customer wow campaigns where they get these touch points that they weren't even expecting, and it really wows them, and so they want to keep working with the Tampa Bay token. Now, finally, when it comes to operate, we employ a company cadence, which is something that I actually learned from one of my billionaire operational consultants, Alex Sharfin. He actually grew a $1 billion business, went and lost it all, and then built it all up again. And in the 2008 economic collapse, or real estate market collapse, the United States government actually gave him an award and credited him and his company almost solely to the recovery of that real estate market. And so he actually consulted me. I paid him to consult me on creating a company cadence and creating a company culture. And so the cadence that we employ, based on the consulting that we've done with this billionaire consultant, is we start with an annual plan that's based around what are our critical numbers that we absolutely want to focus on to drive financial success for the rest of the year. And so we design what are those critical numbers, and then outline an annual plan for the entire year. Every quarter, we come and we evaluate all 5 of those core functions. How are we attracting? How are we nurturing, converting, delivering, operating? And we evaluate and rate our success in each of those 5 core functions, and then use that to come up with a quarterly marketing plan and the quarterly projects that the company is working on as a whole. Every month, we meet once to talk about how we did the previous month. So what were the projects and what were the goals that we set, and then how did we do in terms of actually meeting them. We meet once to talk about our financial numbers, so creating a lot of transparency within the company around how we're actually doing and what each of those 5 core functions are doing to drive that financial success and drive those critical numbers, and making sure that everyone in the company, all of the departments are on the same page about where the company is at and what's really needed and what needs to be focused on. And then finally, we meet every month to also confirm the projects and the goals and the action steps for the next month. From there, we do weekly TIs, or weekly targeted interactions, with each department. So, a fulfillment department would have a weekly TI, a sales department would have a weekly TI, a marketing department would have a weekly TI. Each department gets to meet as a department and then set what their intentions are, what their goals are for the week, and then update everyone else in the department on the commitments that they completed the week before. Also, on a weekly basis, we do reporting. So every department has their own reporting template. So anytime an email is sent, there's a report for that. Anytime a funnel is created, there's a report for that. Anytime PR is done, there's a report for that. So there's a whole structure that goes into into holding the team accountable to make sure that they're actually, keeping momentum within the business and getting things done that need to get done. No one can really get away with not actually accomplishing things, even if they are virtual or in person, because there's that reporting and that accountability structure built into this company cadence. On a daily basis, there's also daily huddles, so that the entire team can come and then ask whatever questions they have to get critical issues addressed, and that way we're kind of reducing the amount of back and forth going on throughout the day, and we can reduce the pressure and noise within the company to make sure that we're maximizing our efficiency and our productivity to really keep momentum up in the business. We also do culture meetings as we have new hires. So we want to make sure that the entire company and, the full infrastructure of the business is fully connected to the mission and the vision of this company, and everyone knows everyone else in the business and what their roles are, so that we can maintain a high level of communication and, again, productivity and morale. That's really important too. So that is the operational side in a nutshell. Obviously, these are just super big overviews of each of those 5 core functions, but hopefully now you can see that the Tampa Bay Business Token has its stuff together from a marketing and operations standpoint. And like I said, if you want to invest in a business that has its stuff together, that has the infrastructure, the resources, the commitment to be able to really succeed, it is hands down the Tampa Bay Business Token. So we look forward to seeing you make the easy decision to work with us.